Hello, good evening. It's Wednesday, February 25, 2026. INEC's continuous voters registration is on. Use the opportunity to register to vote. On the news this evening, acting IGP Disu arrives at State House for official decoration ceremony. Disu's appointment as IGP draws reactions as former AIG defends appointment to new role. Rivers residents react to president's promise to establish state police. And on the foreign scene, Zimbabwe rejects $367 million US health deal over access to sensitive data. Details of these and more will be reaching you in a moment. Stay with us. Acting Inspector General of Police Tunji Disu has arrived at the State House Abuja for his official decoration ceremony. Disu was seen entering the presidential villa about 3 p.m. ahead of the event where he is expected to be formally adorned with his new rank. His appointment follows the resignation of former Inspector General of Police Kayode Betukun. Before his appointment as Acting Inspector General of Police, Tunji Disu headed the Force Criminal Investigation Department Annex in Alagbon, Lagos as Assistant Inspector General of Police. He was promoted last year. Prior to that, Disu served as Commissioner of Police in Rivers State and was later transferred by former IGP Kayode Betukun to Abuja to lead the Federal Capital Territory Police Command. Meanwhile, former Inspector General of Police Abutu Yaro is defending the appointment of Disu as IGP. Yaro says leading the Rivers State Police Command is a key qualification for heading the entire Nigerian police force. Speaking on Nigeria Info FM's Morning Crossfire on Wednesday, Yaro highlighted that the security challenges, activism, and ethnic diversity in Rivers State set apart the new Acting Inspector General Tunji Disu, who previously served as the State's Commissioner of Police.
The person of Tunji Disu is a human achiever in Rivers State. And I believe that any police officer who is able to have a fair assessment of performance in Rivers State can effectively do the same and a better job for the greater Nigeria. Rivers State is a template for policing in Nigeria. Once your performance in Rivers State can withstand the vicissitudes of fair assessment, you eminently qualify for police leadership. Considering the complexity of Rivers State, the activism of Rivers State, the international flavor of Rivers community.
Addressing criticism over Disu's appointment over other senior officers, Yaro explains that any officer holding the rank of Deputy Inspector General or Assistant Inspector General can be appointed as Inspector General, but the final decision and protocol remain the prerogative of the President.
The appointment of the Inspector General of Police is at the prerogative of the head of state, of the President and Commander-in-Chief, subject to confirmation by the National Assembly and always in consultation with the Police Council. And in exercising that function, it becomes practically expedient to note that the parameters and the factors that define it are essentially presidential prerogative. They are not subject to debate, neither are they subject to our input.
Just 24 hours after his appointment, Nigerians are already expressing high expectations and outlining demands for the acting IGP. The Chancellor of the International Society for Social Justice, Dr. Omenazo Jackson, wants Disu to take urgent steps to rebrand policing in Nigeria and restore public confidence in the Nigerian police force. Speaking in an interview with correspondent Emeka Otuka, Dr. Jackson says Disu performed relatively well during his tenure as Commissioner of Police in Rivers State, noting that his appointment presents a fresh opportunity to reform the police and rebuild its image.
Tunde the former Commissioner of Police in Rivers State. While he was here, he did his best, but we, as an Inspector General of Police, were expecting more because Nigeria is large. He worked as a Commissioner of Police in one state, Rivers State. Now he's expected to work in 36 states, including Abuja. So he has a larger scope of work and the expectations for deliverables as a number one police officer in the country. But we're expecting diligent policing. We're expecting due observation of human rights in terms of policing in Nigeria. We want to see a different police organization and police institution in this country. Truth be told, Nigerian police have not been able to endear themselves to the populace which they are policing.
Dr. Jackson is also asking the acting IGP to prioritize institutional reforms, capacity building, and community-oriented policing strategies to strengthen security and improve relations between the police and citizens across Nigeria.
A lot of reforms is required. Institutional changes is required. So the Nigerians will begin to see police as officers of law, not officers of manipulation and human rights violation. Tunde has the opportunity now to write his name in gold by ensuring that the police ordinance and approach to civil issues is adhered to strictly. There is no need of pretending about it. We have a police institution that has clearly detached themselves from the people. The confidence Nigerians have in the police institution has been grossly eroded. And we need a police officer that will return that confidence as quickly as possible.
Also lending his voice, an elder statesman, Anab Saraibe, is expressing confidence in DSU's ability to tackle criminality in the country, citing his experience and background. He adds that the new police boss is expected to bring a human face to policing in Nigeria.
When he was a commissioner here, we worked with him. He has a good relationship with a lot of us. And we believe that he will change the image of the Nigerian police. That we are very sure. And I think with his background, he will be able to fish out the criminal element in the country. Because besides experience, he's a criminology. So what I know. So I'm sure he's going to tackle criminality in Nigeria. But the most important thing, he will put human face in the police. He was a commissioner when there was a lot of militancy and other criminal vices. He was able to contain some of these vices, and he has a very good public relation.
Recall that President Bola Tinubu yesterday appointed the former Rivers State Commissioner of Police Tunji Disu as the acting Inspector General of Police following the resignation of Kayode Ebetokun, who cited present family reasons. Similarly, a lawyer at the Rivers State at the University of Port Harcourt, Tamono Tonyezoe, is urging the newly appointed acting Inspector General of Police Tunji Disu to implement modern people-centered policing strategies in carrying out his duties. Zoe made this call in an interview with correspondent Suebi Oruwari while reflecting on the service years of Disu. He says his tenure as Commissioner of Police in Rivers State was marked by professionalism and effective security management.
He was once a commissioner in Rivers State, and during his tenure, he was actually, to some extent, within the Nigerian context. He was professional, he was unbiased, and he was able to contend with the security situation in Rivers State and brought some level of normalcy. And being appointed as IGP now, he must have improved in his capacity, competence, and ability. So we are expecting that the new IGP will not only be professional, but will bring his competence and capacity to the job.
He further urges the acting police chief to break away from the long-standing practice of prioritizing the interests of the political class over those of ordinary citizens, stressing that policing should remain neutral, accountable, and people-focused.
Feel the impulse of Nigerians and try to make sure the Nigerian police serve the people of Nigerians and not just the political class. The Nigerian police under the immediate past IGP has only served the political class. So this IGP, as we know him, he should be able to feel the impulse of Nigeria, ensure that human rights is highly respected, ensure that the extortion of ordinary citizens in Nigeria by the police should be stopped.
The university lecturer also calls on the new acting IGP to make the welfare of officers and men of the Nigerian police force a top priority, particularly during engagements with the presidency and the National Assembly, noting that the well-motivated force is key to effective national security.
And then bring sanity to the Nigerian police and also ensure the welfare and upliftment of the Nigerian police force, the men and women working under his command, to ensure their welfare. He should also bring it before the president and ensure that the welfare of the police, as we have always cried, should be improved. And then that should also be replicated and reflect in their services to the Nigerian people.
In another development, residents of Rivers State are expressing mixed reactions to the president's renewed promise to establish state police as part of efforts to address insecurity across the country. Speaking with our correspondent, Confidence Ume, some residents describe the move as timely and necessary. However, they stress that adequate funding, proper training, and modern equipment must be provided to ensure the proposed force can effectively carry out its duties. Others express concern that the creation of state police should not worsen the security challenges already being witnessed in the country.
If they bring out their mind to do the work very strong, everything will work perfect.
Now then be the cause of the incident. Yes. Not that we don't have police, we don't have army, we have everything it takes to secure this country. But because of their selfish gain, they can't do that. Now, if you are telling local vigilante to secure this country, in which way will they secure the country? They know equipment. Will they pay them?
Mr. President say want to give us state police. So you check whether the federal one they add to the states where crisis they there, or we are clearly they there, whether they are then doing well to the states.
Moving on, a man, Onwugbonu, who allegedly killed his elder brother with a machete on February 12, 2026, at Umuwacha village in Okey community, Omoma local government area of Rivers State, has reportedly been arrested. Onwugbonu was said to have been caught in the early hours of Wednesday at Werenta in Isialangwa, South local government area of Abia State, 13 days after allegedly fleeing the scene. A viral video seen by correspondent Emeka Otuka shows youths and police officers escorting the suspects in handcuffs to a police patrol vehicle. The case was first reported at Ibiri Omoma police station under the Oyibo Area Command, and Onwugbonu is said to have been handed over to the Rivers State Police Command, while the Rivers State Police spokesperson CSP Grace Iringi Koko has not yet confirmed the arrest. She had earlier stated that preliminary reports suggest the suspect allegedly killed his brother after accusing him of witchcraft, which he blamed for the lack of his progress. Let's go on a quick break. When we return, lawyer warns forced rape claims carry serious legal consequences. Stay tuned. Rest of the news. Human rights lawyer Haya King is warning that forced rape accusation carries serious legal consequences. Her statement comes after Nigeria TikToker Mirabel admitted that the viral claim of being raped and assaulted in her apartment was fabricated and is now under investigation by the Ondo State Police Command. King emphasized that while rape is a serious crime, the rights of those forcefully accused are also protected by law. He explains that if an investigation proves the allegation is untrue, the accuser can face defamation or false accusation charges, and law enforcement may arrest and prosecute anyone who intentionally provides false information to the police.
The consequences of false allegation is the same with any other accusation as in rape. If you accuse somebody falsely of any offense and at the end of the day, it's discovered that the person did not commit the crime, what to do is to sue you for false accusation. You don't give information that you are not sure. You have to give a first-hand information. Accusation of rape is a very serious one. It's a very serious matter, just like any other allegation against you.
In other news, the Rivers State Director of National Orientation Agency, Edward Banigo, has urged Nigerians to remain committed to the democratic process despite the current economic challenges in the country. Banigo made the call in an interview with correspondent Emeka Otuka while reacting to voter apathy recorded in last Saturday's by-election. He attributed the low voter turnout to the attitude of some politicians towards the electorates after being elected into office. He expressed confidence that the nation's economy would improve if citizens actively participate in choosing those who govern them.
People are generally apathetic because democracy must give people some dividends, something to hope for. And from our own report, so far, most Nigerians are not too happy with the dividend of democracy they are getting. So that's what will influence participation. But in any case, we are telling we'll keep on telling them that, look, even though we are not there yet, we must keep on trying because even politicians, when they feel they contest and recontest until finally they get victory. If you go back home and sit down and say, look, after all, the one who voted not seen anything, then you can never get anything good.
The NOA director also noted that the turnout in the by-election shows that more awareness and sensitization are needed to encourage public participation ahead of the 2027 general elections. He, however, urged politicians to fulfill their campaign promises and remain accountable to the people.
This one has shown that apathy is still in the land. So going forward into 2027, that means that NOA and other party organizations need to do more to sensitize the people, to mobilize them to ensure that they come out to vote. And of course, the government can do better by making sure that the promises they give to the people, they fulfill them, so that at least there will be something sharing, something to look up to, something that will make people go out and vote. For example, now I can tell you from the reports and news you get from Abia State, people are likely to turn out a mass in Abia State if election comes up, because they are seeing dividends of democracy with their two eyes.
And now to governance at the local level, the chairman of Okey local government area, Chima Boniface Njoko, has approved the immediate ban on all mining and sand dredging activities in selected communities across the local government area. The affected areas include Chokocho Umwechem Road, Chokocho Ibo Road, Okuragu Umwoyagu Road, and Egwi, while all unlicensed mining sites within Okey have also been shut down with immediate effect. The decision follows the submission of a report by the Joint Committee on Environmental Devastation of Okey land due to mining activities set up by the Ministry of Solid Minerals in collaboration with the Okey local government area. Chairman Njoko has directed community leaders, truck owners, tipper operators, and security agencies to ensure full compliance with the directive. He warned that any tipper or truck found engaging in mining or sand dredging within the affected communities will be seized, and operators will face the full wrath of the law. The chairman stressed that his administration would not tolerate the destruction of Okey roads by heavy-duty trucks or the continued devastation of the land under any guise. On security, Njoko also issued a strong warning to kidnappers, one-chance operators, and armed robbers within the LGA, declaring that their days are numbered. He reaffirmed his administration's commitment to protecting lives and property and assured residents across the 19 wards of sustained efforts to guarantee their safety and security. Away from that, the Secretary General of Onwugbonu Community Youths in Rukpoko Clan of Obiakpa Local Government Area of Rivers State, Emmanuel Okpara, is rejecting claims that a new caretaker committee has been set up to manage the affairs of Onwugbonu Community Development Council. Speaking with newsmen, Okpara describes as false the alleged dissolution of land, electricity, and other ad hoc committees in the area. He explains that the power to dissolve the CDC and administrative structures rests solely on the Onwugbonu Council of Traditional Rulers, Chiefs, and Elders. Onwugbonu Youth Secretary is urging companies and corporate bodies operating in the community to continue to deal with the Teddy Elijah-led CDC. He adds that the disciplinary actions will be meted out on individuals or groups who attempt to incite communal crisis through false information.
On behalf of the good youth of Onwugbonu town in Rukpoko clan, Obiakpo LGA, the general public is hereby advised to disregard any announcement concerning the dissolution of Onwugbonu CDC government led by Comrade Teddy Elijah. These announcements are false. It is not within the power and authority of the youth to dissolve a community CDC without the chiefs and elders in council.
In other news, Pleroma International School and Laurel's Model School have both advanced to the semi-finals of the Nigeria Info FM's I Beg to Differ debate competition. On Tuesday, Pleroma International School defeated Community Secondary School Rumilumini after a heated contest. Timidara Cherish Akeju and Irene Chidindu Amechi represented Pleroma, while Success Etukpabong and Miracle Ernest spoke for Community Secondary School. The team debated the motion that legislative duties should be part-time rather than full-time. Pleroma emerged winners with 99.5 points ahead of Community's 90 points.
It depends on enterprise, not of sitting hours. You can sit in National Assembly for 10 years and make nothing but utter noise, or sit for 3 months and change the nation. History only ever remembers Awolowo's sessions, not the length of his sessions. Making legislature part-time isn't just weakening democracy. Hence, we need part-time legislators who are in touch reality to make up for those. Form isn't retreat, it is renewal. We need citizen lawmakers.
In another round, Laurel's Model School faced Brentford High School. Kenneth Daniela and Ezianu Princess Amara represented Laurel's Model, while Ijoma Ajoko and Khadijat Zachary spoke for Brentford High School. They argued on whether vocational training is better than university education. Lawrence Model School won with 99 points, defeating Brentford High School, which scored 95 points.
Those pay the bills. So what exactly are we arguing about? This is not to say that university education is useless. However, certain professions like medicine, engineering, and law still require formal education. However, vocational training is more relevant in today's world. We need more problem solvers. We need more skilled hands. School graduates, because when you do, no one can take it away from you. Vocational training may teach how to do a job, but university education teaches how to understand, improve, and reinvent the world.
Both Plerumba International School and Lawrence Model School will compete in the semi-final scheduled for Thursday at 10 a.m. on Nigeria Info FM. In business, Nigeria will begin exporting a new light crude oil grade called Carthon in March to help increase oil production and strengthen its position in global markets. The Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited confirmed that the first shipment is expected in the third week of March. The new crude, similar to quality to the new crude, similar in quality to Bonny Light, will be exported through a floating storage vessel with a capacity of about 2.2 million barrels. Officials say the move could raise Nigeria's oil output from about 1.65 million barrels per day to around 1.7 million barrels per day if operations remain stable. Nigeria, which operates under OPEC production quota of 1.5 million barrels per day, has recently improved output. Carthon becomes the third new crude grade introduced in recent years as the country pushes to boost exports, attract more buyers, and increase revenue amid ongoing reforms in the oil and gas sector.
And now, we'll bring you news from around the world.
Zimbabwe has rejected a U.S. health deal worth $367 million over 5 years because Washington requested access to sensitive data. According to a leaked government memo, President Emerson Mnangagwa described the deal as lopsided, saying the U.S. wanted biological samples for research and commercial use without sharing benefit for future vaccines or treatments. The U.S. Embassy notes it has provided over $1.9 billion in health aid to Zimbabwe in the past 20 years. A similar deal in Kenya was suspended last December over concerns about citizens' health data privacy. And in sports, FIFA President Gianni Infantino says he feels very reassured about Mexico hosting matches in the June 11 to July 19 World Cup, despite recent violence following the killing of a drug cartel leader. Mexico will co-host the tournament with the United States and Canada. And that's our package on the news this evening. You heard that the Acting Inspector General of Police Tunji Disu has arrived at the State House in Abuja for his official decoration ceremony. We told you that Tunji Disu's appointment as IGP is drawing reactions as a former AIG has defended his appointments to the new role. You heard that Rivers State residents are reacting to President Bola Tinubu's promise to establish state police. And on the foreign scene, Zimbabwe has rejected a $367 million U.S. health deal over access to sensitive data. And that was the news as edited by Ifunanya Obeme Ndukwe. To reach the news team, send an SMS or WhatsApp message to 0808-721-7215. I am Okey Onwugbonu. Good evening, and many thanks for listening.